Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series, December the 19th, 1987. We are just 2 weeks away from 88, the final year available on the network. I wish they had 89 and 90 available so that the process could be more complete, but they don't. And I think that's because Jerry Jarrett owns that footage, and there's a contest, so to speak, into that whole process. Anyway, the 19th of December 1987 is our task for this moment, and so Eric Emery and Al Madrill are going at it pretty ferociously. Emery actually takes over on Madrill quicker and more aggressively than I would have imagined. There are a few good shots, and ultimately, Madrill looks rather weak against the former light heavyweight champion, at least during the first, let's say, 4 or so minutes of the contest. Emery does finally end up backing off. Attempted pile driver by Emery, and the referee goes down. Anyway, Madrill gets sent, I believe, over the top rope here. Yep, with a backdrop while the referee is down. Emery rolls out, does some damage, hits a few moves, including but not limited to, I believe, a pile driver on the floor. Gets a count out victory, and Emery gets the win. Basically, he's challenging Sean Simpson, wants that light heavyweight championship back, etc. and so forth. Really basic promo, basic program. Sean Simpson, a phenomenal talent to have found. Imagine finding somebody at 18 that you could use today that's ready. That would be so rare. Sweet Brown Sugar against Al Perez up next. Sweet Brown Sugar, obviously Skip Young has been around the area for quite a while. I don't know why they switch between names with him. That has never made sense to me. Al Perez, of course, your multi-time world champion here in the world-class area. He's really kind of a slower, methodical style at this juncture in his career. And we do kind of see Young try to use the side headlock takeover. Young certainly goes pretty well at his opponent here, but very basic wrestling moves, top wrist lock and the like. And then we see a hard shot, and they're kind of rolling out of the corner. Perez not afraid of taking a few extra shots. Perez not afraid of doing everything he needs to do to maintain the championship. Gary Hart very happy with his investment in Mr. Perez, and that kind of does show at ringside. Hart, never an overly animated person unless something's going really, really wrong. I actually like that about Gary Hart, as much as I like, for example, Jimmy Hart in the WWF, and Bobby Heenan is one of my favorites. Heenan did it less, Hart did a little more, but the oversell of the manager is not something that Gary Hart would ever really be accused of, and I think there's value in learning from that example. Perez cranks the headlock for quite a bit, tries to keep the match on the mat, I think on purpose. And then we kind of see working on the leg and kind of going through the motions there. Headbutt by Sweet Brown Sugar, and looks like he could gain a bit of a victory here, but Perez scoops the legs, uses the ropes 1, 2, and then switches into almost, I guess you'd say, a half crab. Perez then, of course, using the ropes as a weapon, almost goes to Sweet Brown Sugar almost goes to a chokeout style maneuver before there is a switch, and Perez gets the victory halfway through the program. And then we move to Vince Apollo and Sean Simpson. Not necessarily sure I understand Vince Apollo as a wrestler here. in terms of, he's kind of a manager, kind of a wrestler, etc. and so forth. He's a guy who isn't bad in the ring, but he's not anything special. If you're going to have him as a manager, why do you need him to wrestle? Lots of questions. Anyway, Sean Simpson, really a standout guy. Gets tied to the Tree of Woe early in the match, however. Apollo takes a few good shots, and Simpson does manage to get a really quick, less than 3-minute victory. His victory is achieved through a victory roll, 1, 2, 3. Eric Emery, though, makes his way out, steals the belt from the champion Simpson, and starts to beat him with it. Luckily for him, there is the runaround with that. Apparently, there may be an alliance here formed, but again, with Simpson and Apollo, at least for the day. Frankie Lancaster versus Matt Bourne is your main event of the program. They do one of the final segment is a bunch of rerun segments, which is why I'm not covering it. They also announce a car battle royal upcoming. But Matt Bourne and Frankie Lancaster is a very quick match. Bourne hits the top rope, bombs away. 1, 2, 3. Bourne gets your victory here. And that will close the first run content for this program. They give 12 minutes to the announcement of the new car and some reviews of Kerry Von Erich in matches from years gone by. Then we will be back to close out the month of December, and my goal is to start 1988 today. In any event, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.